It was the summer of 1977 in the quiet Connecticut town of Prospect, a place where doors were left unlocked and neighbors waved from their porches. But on the night of July 22nd, something unthinkable happened on Cedar Hill Drive. By sunrise, 9 members of one family were gone, their home reduced to ash, and the state of Connecticut would never be the same again. This is the story of the worst mass murder in Connecticut's history, a tragedy born from rage, betrayal, and unrelenting darkness. In the early hours of that Friday morning, residents of Cedar Hill Drive were awakened by the smell of smoke. Some thought a storm had knocked over a power line. Others stepped out of their homes and froze in horror. The Bedoin family house was engulfed in flames, a roaring inferno lighting up the night sky. Firefighters arrived within minutes, but it was already too late. The structure was collapsing, beams cracking, and the sound of glass shattering echoed through the neighborhood. It was a scene out of a nightmare. When the blaze was finally subdued and the smoldering ruins could be entered, what they found inside would haunt them forever. In the kitchen lay the body of 29-year-old Cheryl Bedoin, her clothes burned away, her body twisted in agony. She had not died from the fire. Her injuries told another story. Room by room, the firefighters and investigators moved deeper into the remains of the home. In one bedroom, 3 small bodies. In another, 2 more. A child in the master bedroom. 2 more in the bathroom, their small feet tied together. Everywhere they looked, death. 9 lives in total. The victims were Cheryl Bedoin, her 7 children, Frederick, Sharon Lee, Deborah and Paul, Roderick, Holly Lynn, and Mary Lou, and Cheryl's young niece, 6-year-old Jennifer Santoro, who had been staying the night. The children were between the ages of 4 and 12, innocent, asleep in their home. When investigators examined the bodies, a horrifying pattern emerged. Several victims had their hands tied behind their backs. Many suffered massive head wounds. And while some ultimately died from smoke inhalation, most have been brutally beaten to death before the fire ever began. This was not an accident. It was a massacre. Detectives immediately launched what would become the largest murder investigation in Connecticut's history. Within hours, police were combing through every piece of evidence, interviewing over 100 people, and searching for anyone who might have seen something that night. Cheryl's husband, devastated and in shock, was questioned. So was his foster brother, a 27-year-old man named Lorne J. Acquin. At first glance, Lorne seemed harmless enough. He was quiet, polite, and even helpful around the family. The children liked him. He often visited, played games with them, and stayed late into the evening. But as detectives began to peel back the layers, a darker picture began to emerge. Lorne Acquin wasn't just a friendly family member. He was a man with a record. He'd been arrested for burglary and even attempted to escape from jail. There were whispers of temper problems, a history of violence, and deep resentment festering beneath the surface. In the hours before the murders, neighbors had seen a man sitting alone in a car near the Bedoin house. He was there for a long time, just sitting, watching. That man, they later realized, was A.C. Quinn, why the following day, suspicion had grown into certainty. Police detained him for questioning. During the first few hours, Acquin said little. He denied involvement, but the weight of the evidence and his own conscience began to crush him. By Sunday morning, less than 2 days after the fire, he confessed. His statement was chilling. He said he had gone to the house that night and gotten into an argument with Cheryl, his foster brother's wife. In a burst of rage, he struck her with a tire iron again and again. Then, one by one, he turned the same weapon on her children. When the house was still and silent, Acquin spread gasoline through the rooms and set the home ablaze before fleeing into the night. He showed no emotion as he told the story. The confession shocked even the most experienced investigators. Police charged him with 9 counts of murder and 1 count of arson. The motive, prosecutors later said, was revenge, twisted and irrational. Some suggested jealousy toward his foster brother. Others said it was deep resentment toward Cheryl. Whatever the truth, only Lorne Acquin knew what had truly broken inside him that night. 2 years later, in July of 1979, Acquin stood trial in Waterbury, Connecticut. The proceedings lasted weeks, the courtroom filled with reporters and heartbroken relatives. Prosecutors described a crime of almost unimaginable cruelty, the calculated slaughter of an entire family. They revealed that in his confession, Acquin admitted he might have sexually assaulted 10-year-old Sharon Lee before killing her. The medical examiner's testimony confirmed there were signs of sexual injury. Jurors wept as they listened. For 3 days, they deliberated. Then, on October 19th, 1979, they returned their verdict. Guilty on all 9 counts of murder and 1 count of arson. The judge sentenced Lorne J. Acquin to 25 years to life for each murder conviction, plus 20 years for the arson, effectively guaranteeing that he would never see freedom again. Even after his conviction, questions lingered. What could drive someone to destroy an entire family, including children who called him Uncle Lorne? Was it hatred, mental illness, or something even darker? The pleasure of control, of destruction, of watching the world burn simply because he could? In Prospect, Connecticut, the community struggled to comprehend the scale of what had happened. The town held 9 funerals, 9 coffins. Cheryl's husband buried his wife, his 7 children, and his niece, all in a single week. The grief was indescribable. At one of the funerals, a firefighter who had entered the house that morning stood silently, unable to speak. He later told a reporter, "I thought I'd seen everything, but that wasn't human." The smell of smoke lingered in the air for days. The blackened frame of the Bedoin home became a grim reminder of what rage can do. Eventually, it was torn down, but the memory never left. For years afterward, the Prospect Massacre haunted Connecticut. The case appeared in books, documentaries, and lectures on criminal psychology. Lorne J. Acquin became an example used in criminology classes, not just as a murderer, but as a study in emotional detachment and sudden violence. He never publicly expressed remorse. From his cell, he lived out his days surrounded by walls that matched the emptiness inside him. Every appeal he filed failed. Every attempt to minimize his guilt was rejected. Time moved on, but the pain didn't. In the decades since, survivors, neighbors, and investigators have said that the memory of that night changed the community forever. Parents became more protective. People who once slept with windows open began locking their doors. The illusion of safety in small-town America had been shattered. Today, more than 40 years later, the story of the Prospect Massacre still circulates quietly online, in archives, old news reports, and the memories of those who lived through it. It remains the worst mass murder in Connecticut's history. A crime not of money, not of ideology, but of pure, unfiltered rage. In the end, 9 innocent lives were stolen. Among them 7 children who never got to grow up, dream, or laugh again. Their names are still remembered by the few who were there that day. Cheryl Bedoin, 29. Frederick, 12. Sharon Lee, 10. Deborah, 9. Polly. Roderick, 6. Holly Lynn, 5. Mary Lou, 4. Jennifer Santoro, 6. 9 lives, 1 monster, 1 night that erased a generation. And perhaps the most haunting part of all, it began with a family argument. A man unable to control his rage. A single violent impulse that set off a chain of horror. From the first strike of tire iron to the final flicker of flame, the Prospect Massacre became a chilling symbol of what happens when humanity collapses, when love turns to hate and home becomes hell. This was not just another murder. This was a message carved into history. That evil doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from family. If you want more true stories like this one, real, disturbing, and unforgettable, subscribe to Shocking Facts. Because sometimes the truth is more terrifying than fiction.